What's up guys, my name is Sean from White Jade Productions, and we have to talk about this new camera. Nope, not that one, and not that one either. This one, the Nikon ZR. This is a camera that we've been expecting for a while, and if you're into this like high-end videography, but like kind of cheap, not really cinema camera space, you knew this one was coming, especially if you're a Nikon fan. Now, Sony users don't get too worried yet. It's definitely not replacing the FX3 this time around. Red has clearly shown its intentions to bring its prices down, especially with Nikon acquiring it. And this camera is absolute proof of that they will not compromise in quality. Now, if you want a video detailing all of the specs and stuff, there are plenty of those out there, so I'm not really going to go into depth in this video. However, we're going to talk specifically about the Red RAW. It appears that it is log 3G10, red, wide gamut, RGB, exactly what I'm shooting right now on my Red Dragon, meaning that this camera is usable on pretty much any Red camera as a B cam, which is incredibly useful for people who shoot with Red already. But what's really interesting about it is at the moment of this video's release, it only has one flavor of compressed RAW, and that appears to be high quality. According to a few different sources, it is the same R3D that we get in all of our other Red cameras, except it's just one file instead of a bunch that are split apart, which if you know, you know. I personally am very happy about this. I am glad that Nikon is saying, hey, we're gonna give you unlimited quality and you deal with that how you want to. It's gonna probably come with some overheating issues. I wouldn't be shocked, but it's got 3 different flavors of RAW. So if you don't want R3D, pick something else. Although I don't know why you'd buy this camera and not shoot borderline everything with that codec. I think there are plenty of other camera options if you want to shoot, you know, typical lossy files. But I'm pretty happy about it. For $2,200, you can have that Red look. And I was a little worried at first when I heard about this camera's announcement that it might not really look like Red, it might not work like Red, that R3D codec might not be as punchy, it might not have the dynamic range, it might not have the colors. I am very personally happy to say that Nikon has taken a huge leap forward. I have a Nikon Z6 OG. I've shot with the Z6 II and the Z6 III a little bit, and a bunch of other Nikon cameras. Nikon was the first brand I personally bought into, and I've owned pretty much all of the brands, including Lumix, Canon, and Sony. And I've always liked Nikon. There's something about the ergonomics that I really liked, which Nikon for some reason decided to absolutely ditch with this camera. But I think the point was, hey, let's make it really, really small so that Condor Blue and other brands can rig it out. And if you want to rig it out, it's actually ideal for rigging out just because it is as minimalistic as possible. That 4-inch LCD on the back, if you guys haven't seen that, that's going to be a game changer if you're a minimalist shooter. I think that this camera, despite it not having a great side grip, I think is going to be very nice if you just want to go up to a mountain and you don't want to bring a monitor and you want it to fit in like your pocket with like a lens. Like if you have like a fanny pack or whatever, you could definitely fit this camera in there with like a couple lenses. And I think that's a huge benefit, meaning you can really take this camera anywhere. And my biggest takeaway is just that quality. I'm very interested to see where Nikon goes from here. Like I said at the start of this video, I don't think this is really like an FX3 competitor. It doesn't seem to really attack the same market. The next camera they release, like the Nikon ZR2 or whatever they probably call it, they'll probably call it something else, that will be a direct competitor. I expect that camera to go for, I don't know, $3,500 probably, if I had to guess, since this one's priced at $2,200. That seems like a reasonable step up, maybe $4,000, a little bit more. You're gonna see that camera really, really compete with Canon's C50. You're gonna see it compete with the FX3, the Blackmagic Pixis, and it's probably gonna replace the Komodo. I would love to see a global shutter sensor in that one. Maybe if we could get internal NDs or electronic NDs internally, I would really like to see something like that. That would be very, very nice. But at this moment in time, what we're really seeing is Red is bringing their quality down to the lower end of the market. This is now like the first camera I'm going to suggest to anybody who's like, yo, I want to become a DP. I have $2,000. What should I buy? This camera. This is the camera you should buy. It's got autofocus if you need it. I don't really recommend autofocus to anybody trying to be a cinematographer, but it's there and that's certainly useful for some things. I'm very excited to see where Nikon and Red take this new collaboration. I think it's only going to go up from here. And I think this is incredibly beneficial for all of us, the consumers, because brands lately have been way price gouging. Like, it's just been like things are super expensive and more expensive and more expensive and more expensive. And that's not the way things should be. Nikon has always kind of had a philosophy of making really high quality things cheap. If you've ever shot with Nikon glass, I'm shooting on like old DSLR Nikon glass right now, you know that it looks really, really good, especially for the price. This is like a $100 lens. It looks fantastic. I love shooting on this lens all the time. It's a 50mm 1.8G for the Nikon F mount, and I have that attached to my Red. I know this video has been a little bit ranty and a little bit kind of just like me sharing my thoughts, but I wanted to talk about this camera, and I think how much Nikon is about to shake up the industry. If you are a Sony or Canon or Lumix shooter, I would strongly consider swapping over to Nikon now. You can adapt all of your lenses, so just sell your camera bodies, make a little bit of money, and upgrade. That'd be my suggestion. Now, depending on what you do, you might not want to do that. If you shoot sports, might not recommend it. But if you're a cinematographer, DP, or somebody who just wants the best quality, it's the move. Currently, the Nikon ZR is the best bang for your buck. I don't think there's a single camera out there that can test that right now. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and until next time.